You may have heard that kale chips are the new beef, and you're right. Just 1 cup of kale has more iron than a piece of beef. I'm going to teach you how to make some yummy kale chips that don't taste like green potato chips. You're going to need 1 large bunch of kale, and if not 1 large bunch, then 2 small bunches, 1 clove of garlic, 1 organic lemon, 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of soy sauce or wheat-free tamari, 1/3 cup of nutritional yeast, and 1/4 cup of water. The first step is taking the stem off of your kale leaves. It's really important to take them off the stems, otherwise it's like biting into a pencil. You really just wouldn't want to do that. So the way that I learned how to peel the kale leaves off of the stems is to just grab a hold of them on either side and just pull down. You end up with almost like a ribbon of kale. It's kind of neat. Take your salad spinner and then just start breaking off bite-sized pieces. Continue with the rest of your batch until they're all done. So kale chips are amazing for us. They have hardly any calories, they're high in fiber, they have like 0 fat, they're high in antioxidants, they're high in vitamins K and C, and they also lower your cholesterol. Now you can freeze the ends, the stems, and put them into green smoothies because they are jam-packed with nutrients. Now notice how full this bowl is. It's going to reduce by about half. Now if you have a really good organic lemon, you're going to have about 50 seeds. I'm going to make my mixture. Lemon juice, wheat-free tamari, a little bit of water, depending on how much salt you want or not. You can always adjust the ratio. I'm using 1/4 cup of tamari and 1/4 cup of water right now, but as long as it equals about 1/2 cup of liquid, you're good. Shell your garlic. You can use a garlic press, you can use a handheld grater, microplane, whatever you have. Probably wouldn't want to chop it up because then it wouldn't get on all of the kale chips. Okay, so last is the 1/3 cup of nutritional yeast. And whisk it. I love this recipe because I like tasty, spicy potato chips. Olive oil and sea salt, that just doesn't do it for me. Now's the fun part. Get nice and dirty and massage your kale. Distributed enough. Really give it a good work through. Put on some music and dance, whatever you want. I think I'll dance. It's best to eat soy in moderation, especially if it's unfermented soy. Soy contains phytoestrogens that mimic estrogen and can cause hormone reactions in the body. So you definitely don't want too much of that. But if it's fermented, it doesn't do as much harm, and it actually encourages the growth of good bacteria in your body. So it's actually a good thing to have in your diet, once or twice a week. Okay, look. It's about half the size it was. Awesome. So the dehydrator that I have is the Excalibur 9 tray. Its sheets have holes, and with these holes, your kale chips, if you're not careful, will stick to the holes. So what I like to do is put some parchment paper on top because I haven't invested in the ones without holes. And then I take my kale chips, grab a little handful, toss it in the middle, and spread them out nice and flat. Ends, if they overlap, they become just a little bit chewy, which is kind of awesome. I like to eat them for breakfast. I mean, you work all night. Well, you don't work all night. Your dehydrator works all night, and you kind of feel the need to have a reward in the morning for having worked so long. So they are all spread out. Don't overlap them. Don't want them all stuck together. I like to throw on a little extra nutritional yeast. I don't know why, it just makes it more special. You could throw a little cayenne for extra spice. You could probably even throw some taco spices on. And so there we have one tray. It's ready to go in the dehydrator. Raw kale chips taste amazing. And I know this for a fact because I used to bake them and I thought that they were good enough. But when I tried raw kale chips, I was so impressed that I never looked back. To make them in the oven, if you absolutely cannot find a dehydrator, set your oven to 200 degrees and put them in for about an hour and a half or so. You can flip them once in between. If you're doing the dehydrator method, you can set it to 115 and let it rip overnight or for 6 hours. And this is what they look like when they're done. They look delicious. Let me try one for you. Crunchy. Salty. Delicious. And there you have raw kale chips, not potato chips. Healthy, good for your gut, good for your life. Yummy, crunchy, satisfying snacks. I hope you enjoy your kale chips, and we'll see you on the next episode of Gentle Rose TV on HerTube. Oh, are we rolling?